Hey everybody, what's up? It's Babylonius from peakofserenity.com here with another kill video for Sanctum of Domination. This is the fourth boss, Remnant of Nerzhul. Haven't gotten around to killing Terror Group because I killed it our first pull and died for most of it because nobody soaked my chain, but I'll get around to that eventually when I get back in there. But let's get into Remnant. Remnant is a relatively fun fight. I was a little bit disappointed because I really wanted to be able to do more orbs, but I just kind of couldn't. Because of the timing of Transcendence in the orbs and just it being safer. So Remnant is a single target fight. There are adds, but certainly after the nerfs that happened this week, or in previous weeks, depending on when you're watching this, the orbs just kind of flop over. You have enough time to hit them for one or two things. And Touch of Death, you can really Touch of Death them, certainly. But other than that, it's really a single target fight. That's where the primary amount of damage is. So you're going to want to focus on that. You can see that, for this fight, I have a lot of weak auras going on. Most of them I ignored for most of it, but they were there. You can use Transcendence to kind of cut back when you get these knockbacks that are coming up. Pause this for a sec, right? So you're going to get these knockbacks. We held until after the Shatter. Shatter is something that you're going to want to really use a cooldown for, just to help your healers. Theoretically, it's better defensively to use Diffuse Magic in this fight. However, if you're someone like me who's very used to using Diffuse Magic a lot, you might find yourself using it at the wrong time, like when you have Malevolence and knock people back at the wrong time. So I was banned from using Diffuse Magic. Certainly if you're a little bit more put together than I was on our progression, then you can use Diffuse Magic. It has a shorter cooldown, so you'll be able to use it more often, but Dampen Harm does the job just fine too. Shatter is a great thing to use Touch of Karma on. It's just something that occurs relatively regularly. You can use Transcendence to try and limit the knockback. I recommend not doing that. I recommend saving Transcendence as a worst case scenario button. That worst case scenario would be in a situation where you are taking off an orb and they're about to dispel, so you're going to get knocked back. Or you're somebody who has to get dispelled and you're on the outside, so you're not always sure if you're going to go out or in. You can use Transcendence just to kind of cut down on that. So you see right here, I dropped Transcendence. I'm going to run out, right? And paying more attention, get dispelled, right? Didn't need to use it because I got knocked in. If I was going to get knocked out, I would want to use Transcendence right away. Probably should have used it anyway. I put Transcendence in a safe spot. So I probably should have used it to be safe just in case it was out of range. And I realized that kind of seconds after doing that, but didn't. But yeah, so it's a relatively straightforward fight in terms of when you're going to use your cooldowns and stuff like that. You just kind of use them on cooldown. When things are available, you certainly can use them if you want to pad on the Orbs of Torment. I think that's entirely unnecessary. But certainly you want to use here. I popped things. Probably could have waited until after this dispel. But you can get enough time. That's kind of up to you when your team's going to do these things. The other big thing that was very fun to do a couple times when it lines up, but it's not something you necessarily want to force. But that is Whirling Dragon Punch being used as a way to limit the knockoff. Right, so here, this was my job. Once we get third orbs, I was the thirdest of the orbs. So I got my orb kicked off. It's very easy. Tiger's Lust removes the slow. Roll doesn't matter through the slow. Flying Serpent Kick doesn't matter through the slow. Certainly Transcendence wouldn't matter through the slow. So Windwalker is on heroic. Windwalker is really the best class to be doing this. On Mythic, Demon Hunters pull a little bit ahead, as well as probably Brewmasters as well, just by virtue of the fact that Brewmasters don't get targeted by Malevolence, so you don't have to worry about saving it, saving your Transcendence for that. Demon Hunters can glide and use that other stuff to get, and Vengeful Retreat and Fell Rush and stuff to get back on. So when it comes to Mythic and just with the timers of it, Demon Hunters are just that little bit safer in terms of doing it. So unfortunately, that's what I was most excited about with this fight, but unfortunately had to kind of give up the reins on that. But certainly on Heroic, I try to do all the orbs because I just think it's a fun thing to do. But you see we're going to hit 30%. Going to get the next shatter. Shatters occur at 80, 60, and 30, something like that. So here comes another shatter. You're going to see I'm going to pop... I popped Fortifying Brew and Karma. This was kind of the biggest one, so figured best to pop all of them. I saved Dampen Harm because that would have just been a little bit overkill, but certainly doable. So you'll see we missed an orb, but just due to the timings, we had a little bit more leeway here. Going to get that orb off. Our Brewmaster was taking care of the first one whenever she wasn't tanking. Then our Demon Hunter was taking care of the second one, and then I was getting the third one. So, so he beat me to it just barely. That was a clencher right there, as well as a couple other times where I Flying Serpent kicked towards the edge and just had to hope that I canceled it at the right time. So you see, it kind of goes off the rails here. There's a lot going on, but really it's relatively simple. It just comes down to your push timings, but in terms of kind of magical Windwalker things, there's not a ton you can do. There's stuff that you can do, but not a ton that you kind of have to do or that's going to make a huge difference. You'll see here we'll pull these last orbs off, as best we can just to limit the raid damage, especially being down a healer. So I'll Flying Serpent kick, and every time I do that, that's a big clench move. But yeah, it's, single target. It's a great fight. I enjoyed it a lot, not as much as I wanted to, because I was really hoping that I was going to be able to do a lot more orbs and have, that be kind of a real big deal. But other than that, it's relatively simple, enjoyable fight. It's a fight that really kind of highlights, some of the stuff that Windwalkers are do outside of DPS. And then certainly you go to Soul Render and get highlighted with the stuff that you do with DPS. So it's kind of a nice pairing with these two things. But yeah, other than that, there's not a ton to say. Certainly if there is, I'll make another video. Certainly let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed or questions I didn't answer, and stuff like that, so let me know. I'm trying to get better at this stuff, trying to get back in the swing of videos. So hopefully we'll do a little bit better each time. But yeah, other than that, if you want to check out the rest of my channel or my Twitch or support me through Patreon and PayPal, all that is below, as well as links to my weak auras and my UI, which is all on wago.io. So you can check that out. Check out my other videos, like and subscribe, follow me on Twitch, all that other stuff. If you want more information, you can check out peakofserenity.com, the Monk website, as well as highly recommend the Monk Discord that I run. And has a lot of good information, as well as other people that can answer questions and give some input that's not me, because certainly as much as I would like to, I don't have all the answers. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, have a good night, morning, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are.